Okay, Nanatsu no Taizai, aka The Seven Deadly Sins, Episode 1, giving you my first impression on it, and to be honest with you, that episode rocked. It was awesome, it was very fun, exciting, and this is how you do an Episode 1 adaptation of an up-and-coming shonen right here. Take notes, Toei, because A1 Pictures right now kicked major ass with this episode. So as a lot of you may know, I used to review the manga of the Seven Deadly Sins, and I plan on getting back to that eventually. But this first episode, I wanted to talk about the adaptation, talk about some of the things that I felt they did right, because in all honesty, there's not really much to complain about. It's very silly, it's funny, and for the people that are gonna, because I know there's gonna be people that are gonna complain about like Meliodas grabbing Elizabeth's tits here or there or whatever. At the end of the day, if you read the manga, chapter 1 of the mangaka says this is a fun action adventure with a little bit of ecchi in there. So yeah, if you don't want to see any of that, then don't bother with this series, because it's just a fun series with a lot of interesting things, and as it continues to build, it gets more serious. And the episode, it just set up everything perfectly. It adapted one chapter, the first chapter, and it did it in an awesome way. For starters, you get introduced to some of the main characters. You got Meliodas, the owner of this bar. You got Hawk the pig, which he's pretty much a combination, in my opinion, of Oolong and Poir from Dragon Ball. Like, if you combine those two into some fucking crazy piggish pig, then yeah, you have him, although technically Oolong is a pig, so yeah, it kind of works out well. And then you also have Elizabeth, that's basically looking for the Seven Deadly Sins to help her out with her problem, because the kingdom's being overthrown, and she needs somebody to help take it back. Art and animation for this first episode looked absolutely gorgeous. I just felt like, man, the colors were so vibrant, everything was so lively. Even the people that are just pissed drunk talking about things, it was just like, wow, everything just looks beautiful. And I think the exposition for the beginning of the story was told very differently. It's basically a couple of drunk guys talking about the plot and what's been going on in this world thus far. I think that was a little bit unique from the norm, and especially for a upcoming shonen, like, that's how you learn about the plot from the beginning, like 3 drunk dudes talking at a table. Something a little bit different and a little bit more out of the norm, again, kind of giving you a little bit more of a different feel. And I feel as though this episode 1 definitely was displaying that. While Taizai does have some of the classic tropes, as far as like, you know, little anime tropes or whatever, little quirks or whatever, it's definitely very reminiscent of fairy tale in a sense of having that medieval times with magic and just kind of very colorful and vibrant all over the place. At the same time, it's a little bit more different than that. Like, for example, I like how Elizabeth doesn't really give a fuck too much to like be one of those tsunderes that just like punch you when you touch her. I mean, at the same time, it is a little bit, I guess some people would say, oh, it's sexist or whatever, but this is fantasy. This is a whole different world. This is not reality. And when Meliodas is doing stupid little silly shit like that, she doesn't do the classic "Shanado" and like punch him in the face or some shit. Like, she's just like, hey, come on. And then the fight in this episode with Meliodas versus one of the Holy Knights, it was like, yo, Meliodas, like, learning more about this character already in this first episode and how strong he is. I mean, the building of what they did with this episode, showing how the powers are already. Like, this dude was throwing like Getsugas against Meliodas and Elizabeth, and it kind of shows the characterization of these Holy Knights. They're really not to be trusted at all. I mean, at the end of the day, he's trying to kill the princess right there and say, oh, well, we'll just say it was an accident, something like that. So the characterization of the Holy Knights is, at least we could tell from this dude, they're fucked up. And Meliodas is a pretty decent guy, pretty funny, a little bit more mature than meets the eye because he looks like a kid, but then there's also the mystery. If you look at the wanted posters, all these people are supposed to be real old, so it kind of makes you wonder a little bit more about his character. And I honestly gotta say, if you love series like Dragon Ball, you love series like Fairy Tail, you love adventure, you love things of that nature, and you like a little bit of comedy on the side, you're gonna love Nanatsu no Taizai. I highly recommend. If you're a fan of shonen battle anime, and you like adventure and mystery and jokes and stuff like that, you'll definitely enjoy this, hands down. Like, this episode 1, I'm probably, if the schedule isn't too crazy right now, because I don't know when these episodes are gonna drop or whatever, but if it keeps on like at a decent time, I want to continue reviewing this because I had a blast watching this. Especially, they are doing that, and I love it when they do that now in anime, where the big epic scene is about to go down and the fight starts, and then they play an actual OST with vocals and everything. That always makes it hype, and I think it kind of plays off the feel that how we love, you know, AMVs and stuff like that, and it's kind of bringing you an AMV within the actual scene, so it makes it even more intense. And that final action sequence was just awesome. Like, everything about this episode, I honestly gotta say, for a first episode, this is one of my favorites of the season. It's Fate Stay Night, then this, and I haven't seen Parasite yet, but I'd imagine Parasite is going to be somewhere around there as well. But episode 1, I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10 for a first episode. Is like, again, you like shonen anime, you like adventure, you like comedy, you're gonna love this. But at the same time, don't get it twisted. Like, this episode also was giving a little bit of exposition as to a little deeper problem as well. And as the series progresses, it's gonna get a little more serious and it's gonna keep building. So yeah, don't be alarmed. This is like pretty much some of the good aspects of Fairy Tail minus a lot of bad aspects of Fairy Tail. Again, you're gonna have a little bit of the ecchi, but the author was up front, so you can't complain. And yeah, I was just really impressed. I was like, wow, A1, good shit. We're gonna have apparently 24 episodes, and I believe it's going to adapt volumes 1 through 9 of the manga, if I'm correct. So yeah, we're gonna have some good content to come. And again, I'm going to try my best to review these as long as they come out in a timely manner. Eventually, I'm going to get back on that manga as well, believe me. But if you've seen episode 1 of the 7 Deadly Sins, aka Nanatsu no Taizai, what did you think? Who is your favorite character thus far? What did you think about that fight with Meliodas and the Holy Knight? What do you think about Elizabeth and her problem? And Hawk, do you like him as much as you like a Oolong or a Prar or a Happy? Also got to mention that a lot of the OST tracks in the back as well kind of sound like some Fairy Tail stuff with that medieval time stuff. So it really just, it gives you sort of that vibe. But again, it is its own thing. And by the way, move over Lucy Harphelia because Elizabeth is coming through and she's looking mighty purty. So again, great first episode. Can't wait to see what they do next week. But let me know what you think. Overall thoughts of the episode. Nanatsu no Taizai for the win. But that's all I have for this first impression / review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that'd be awesome. I'm ForneverWorld. And as always, people, have an awesome day.